All right, hello everybody. It is Tuesday. I'm back up at the camper. Beth is watching. Well, I can show it down. She's watching right there in the box, right there. She's at home, but we together watching, reading this. We are still in Ezra, chapter 4. Enemies oppose the rebuilding. Ezra chapter 4, starting at verse 1. The enemies of Judah and Benjamin heard that the exiles were rebuilding a temple to the Lord, the God of Israel. So they approached Zerubbabel and the other leaders and said, "Let us build with you, for we worship your God just as you do. We have sacrificed to him ever since King Esarhaddon of Assyria brought us here." But Zerubbabel, Jeshua, and the other leaders of Israel replied, "You may have no part in this work. We alone will build the temple for the Lord, the God of Israel, just as King Cyrus of Persia commanded us." Then the local residents tried to discourage and frighten the people of Judah to keep them from their work. They bribed agents to work against them to frustrate their plans. This went on during the entire reign of King Cyrus of Persia and lasted until King Darius of Persia took the throne. And now the commentary. The enemies of Judah and Benjamin were people who had been relocated in the northern kingdom when Assyria conquered Israel. And in an attempt to infiltrate and disrupt the project, these people offered to help in the rebuilding. They wanted to keep a close eye on what the Jews were doing. They were going to keep Jerusalem from becoming strong again, but the Jews saw through their ploy. Such a partnership with unbelievers would have led God's people to compromise their faith. Believers can expect opposition when they do God's work. Unbelievers and evil spiritual forces are always working against God and his people. The opposition may offer compromising alliances, attempt to discourage and intimidate us, or accuse us unjustly. If you expect these tactics, you won't be hindered by them. Move ahead with the work God has planned for you and trust him to show you how to overcome the obstacles. These enemies claimed to worship the same God as Zerubbabel and the rest of the Jews. In one sense, this was true. They worshiped God, but they also worshiped many other gods. In God's eyes, this was not worship. It was sin and rebellion. True worship involves devotion to God alone. To these foreigners, God was just another idol to be added to their collection. Their real motive was to disrupt the temple project. Believers today must be aware of those who claim to be Christians, but whose actions clearly reveal they are using Christianity to serve their own interest. Discouragement and fear are two of the greatest obstacles to completing God's work. Most often they come when you least expect them. Discouragement eats away at your motivation, and fear paralyzes us so we don't act at all. Recognize these common barriers. Remember that God's people in every age have faced these problems and with God's help have overcome them. By standing together with other believers, you can overcome fear and discouragement and fulfill God's purposes for your life. Always good advice there. Okay, hope everybody has a glorious day, and we will talk to you later.